This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. Views and opinions expressed in the podcast are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. Woohoo! All right. This is life. This is life. So we're just going to keep this all in. Well, not all of it, but we have had a rough start to this episode. But welcome to the Laugh Cry Club.
Welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Well, Chelsea, I know that you just had like a rough, half of your day. And I've also been in a funk today. So it's okay. Let's just let it out. Let's just be real for a minute.
Let's go back to taking a beat and let's just take one moment to put our hands on our heart and take a deep breath in.
Okay. Everybody, The audience, do the same thing.
Okay. So
maybe you had a bad day.
Yeah. We're going to breathe in for 5, hold for 5, out for 5.
Okay.
Hold for 5. And then blow out for 5.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was really good.
That was really good. We needed that. It was just a little chaotic going into this episode. I mean, Chelsea's had a day. I was thinking before I recorded, I was like, maybe I should be all cheery, but I'm not feeling it. Even though I'm smiling, I'm just feeling in a funk. So that's just how it's going to be. We're going to, Rebecca was okay.
It's like the stinky cheese. We're in the funk.
Oh my God, we're like dirt bread.
Dirt sandwiches.
Okay. I'm not a dirt sandwich.
And I'm not a flat Coke. And Joy's not milk toast. We just have had it little. I was doing great today until the lockdown at my kid's school. And that really threw me.
Yeah, of course.
Through a loop.
Terrifying. That's terrifying. I think that's every parent's fear in the world that we live in is having to deal with that every single day. So just sending you hugs.
Oh, thank you. Well, everybody, today on the Laugh Cry Club, we're going to answer some listeners' questions. But first, we're going to start off with our laughs and our cries. So I think since Rebecca seems to be the least traumatized of our group right now.
Okay.
I think the smart thing to do is to go with the most energy because we know, audience listeners, we know energy is contagious, attracts like. And so Rebecca is going to give us some different energy in this space. And we've taken a breath. We've created a little bit of room to take in something new. Joy just took another deep breath. Rebecca, I nominate you for the Laugh Cry
Thank you.
of the week.
I think I'm going to start with a cry. This was a bit of a more difficult one to find for this week, but I've debated back and forth which one I'm going to go with. But I'm going to go with this video that I found within the last week. I have no idea how I came across it. I don't know if you ever watch a video on YouTube and then the next video comes up and it shows you something and you're like, oh, wow, guess I needed it. But it's this video series is called Reflections of Life. And they have several others. I haven't had a chance to watch them yet, but I'm going to look at them. But this particular video is titled Life Advice from a 96-year-old. And I think I shared that maybe Joy had watched it. Or
yes, you did.
It's about 12 minutes long. So,
I know this video. I love this woman and this video.
Yeah, I think I really needed that because I was just kind of in this space feeling, I don't know, I was searching for something. And this woman, she's 96 years old, full of joy and radiance and just a beautiful human. In and out. And she talks about having her second childhood. That's how she's talking about adulthood, as having a second childhood. And that really resonated with me, especially since we've talked a lot about our childhoods or inner child things here on this podcast. And so it's just been kind of in my mind lately, all the scars you have as a kid and they follow you into adulthood. And we have that trauma still associated with it. So I really liked how she was saying this is her second childhood and that she was finally enjoying her childhood. It was the sweetest, cutest, just joyful. And she talked about giving her light and joy and harmony to the world. Like that's her purpose, is giving her light. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, that really resonated with me too. And it had a person, a client of mine recently I've been seeing, they're talking about finding their purpose and they don't feel like they have it. And I'm like, that's it. It's just you. That is your purpose. And so I don't know. It just really made me think about the big world that we're all part of. Like, I think Chelsea, you were talking about in a recent episode about making yourself really small or feeling small and then looking at how big this world is. So it was really touching.
Can I interject really quick
Sure.
with that? Because I loved that video and there's so many people out there. I'll post it in the show notes. I'm going to make a mental note so people can watch it. But I just feel like that's such a universal struggle, is what is my purpose? We get caught we're in a comparison world. So I think that's probably, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Is like, what is my purpose? And it feels a little like simplistic to be like, well, your purpose is to just be you. But I truly believe that, like, we are here in this body as a human to like fully express what this body, mind, and soul wants to do, like, and be joyful about it. And that's pretty much it. Because I haven't found any external thing that like makes me happy. You know, you hear all the stories of people being like making all the money and doing all the big shiny sparkly things that you would think that people think is going to make you happy. I don't know. I could go off on a lot of trails for that. I just love that reminder. I feel like I could tattoo it on my face and it still wouldn't sink in all the way.
Yes, please don't get a face tattoo.
For as many tattoos as I have, I actually agree with don't get a face tattoo.
Unless you're Post Malone or,
Unless you're Post Malone.
Yeah.
I love him.
Okay, can we, I want to add one more thing to this purpose and meaning. Joy and Rebecca, 100% right. And how do you know you're in your purpose and your meaning? I think that's when you're in flow. So when you're in a flow state and you're just at ease and you're totally I call it heart and head connected. So when people come into therapy, I'm like, we want your head and your heart to match. So if your father or mother is like, oh, I want you to be a doctor and that's what I want you to be, and you might be really good at it and really brilliant and really smart, but when you're in it, you don't feel heart and head connected. You're just in your head, the science part of the brain, your heart's not really feeling fulfilled. You never enter that flow. Then that may not be your purpose. Your purpose could be actually something totally different. So I think of being in flow as, oh, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. My heart and my head are aligned and it feels like really easy because we want to keep doing whatever it is that we're doing. And everybody has different gifts and talents. Rebecca, I really love that. And I love the idea of getting to have a second chance to do your childhood the way that you want to do it. Thank you for sharing that.
It reminded me a lot of adults remembering to play. That's something that's really important to me. And I try to live that every day in my life. And I could tell by watching this video with her, this woman, she's very playful. And I think that's what keeps us young.
Well, think about like the people that you're drawn to. I think of the TSA guy, Chelsea, the guy that was just like
my friend.
You always remember those people who are just like living their life so happy. And I'm not saying we're all like, look, I'm not in a great mood today. I'm not going to be like, we all have to, that's the thing the goal is to always just be dancing around at your job. No, but just having that carefree spirit and reminding yourself that is what you need to come back to. Because the world gets noisy.
Yeah.
And takes us away from that.
Definitely. So that actually, coming back to my carefree life and person that I am, that brings me to my laugh. So today I came across this new app. You get these advertisements on Instagram for it. You're like, yeah, I'll try this out. And then anytime they're like, yeah, you have to pay whatever for this, I'm like, absolutely not. Because I'm like, no, I don't want, because I'll be paying for all these apps, right? So it was like this app about singing, and like they'll take a song and change it for like your, I guess, the level of what like is that called?
Your pitch.
Your pitch. Yes. Yeah. And so I took the quiz, and you have to like do these things. It's really cool. It's like 4 things. And like 1, you have to read this little thing. It's from Winnie the Pooh. I don't know why they picked that. But then you have to hum your lowest note, and then you have to do like a woohoo, and then you have to pretend like you're on a deserted island and that you see a ship out in the ocean, and you have to say hey, hey, hey like 3 times. But like you're trying to get the ship's attention, right? So you're going to be like really
Wait,
loud.
so
I was taking it serious.
I was say, like, are your neighbors like, what's going on over there?
No, I don't know what they think.
Hold on. I feel like we're getting a really watered down version. First, I want to call it 2 things. One, Joy, the energy is contagious because Joy is now smiling and cracking up.
I'm dying.
Rebecca,
and my cheeks hurt because I'm laughing.
Rebecca, can you just do an example of just kind of pretend like you're doing it like we're the app?
Yeah,
just
you guys can do it too. Like,
no, we don't want to do it. We want to hear you
get far
do it.
away from the mic so you don't blow us out. Yeah.
Well, the first one's just reading something, right?
Okay,
so,
the fun one. The fun one. We want the
second
woo-woo.
one is like hum your lowest note, like Okay, your pitch is a little higher, Chelsea. I can tell you're probably going to be, I don't know what it's called.
A soprano?
You're a mezzo.
You're
a mezzo.
tenor. Okay, go on.
You're not a tenor. That's funny. That's hilarious.
That's like Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then you go into a woohoo, like woohoo.
Woohoo!
Okay. And then the fourth one is you're presenting and you're on a deserted island. There's a ship coming by and you're trying to get their attention. So it tells you to like sit up straight in your chair, take a deep breath, and yell, hey, 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 very loud. So I took it.
Hey, hey, hey. Like that?
Yeah, but it would like mine was like, hey, hey, hey.
Like you're
because
waving.
I'm like, I'm on a deserted island. Yeah, my dogs were like, what the, they were total asleep. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Like yelling in our house. And so, yeah, I did it. And you know what it gave me? It said I was a soprano, which is freaking hilarious. If you've heard me sing on this podcast, you know that I'm not a soprano.
Right. You tried to sing Celine Dion.
Yes. And so it puts me in
fair.
with Mariah Carey, Celine Dion. Christina Aguilera.
Oh, wow.
Who knew? I am
a
soprano. But I decided to take it again. And I was like, I'm going to bring my hey, hey, hey down a notch. And I did. And it put me in an alto range, which I think that's probably right.
Okay.
So I think I skewed the data by really taking it way serious.
You were getting
I was on
real
a deserted
excited.
Island.
Yeah, they're like, okay, this person really thinks they're on a deserted island versus like we're just trying to figure out your pitch for an app.
And the truth about this is that it's actually really healthy. So fun fact.
Wait, are you drinking a Red Bull, Rebecca?
Yeah, I am.
No wonder she's all jacked up.
I'm like, no wonder your energy is all up. You were just shotgunning a Red Bull. She's like...
I'm going to put a hole in the bottom of it.
Oh my
your
God.
Twisted piece.
Sorry, I just saw her. She literally just took a swig that was like turned her head upside down. And I was like, wow, she's really into this Red Bull. Okay, Chelsea, go ahead.
It's almost empty.
Okay, I'm bringing us back to our podcast on therapy. Out of the Red Bull, out of the Twisted Tea, and into Rebecca's humming about how it stimulates, is it the vagus nerve?
The vagus nerve.
Yeah, because that's why when you like chant and you do like, oh,
that's right.
Like you do those, is it oxytocin or dopamine? Anyways, it's a calming, it calms your nervous system.
Your nervous system, yeah.
So Rebecca has reset her nervous system with this app, and then she's jacking herself back up
with
on
Red Bull.
Oh, Red Bull.
Yeah. So if
let's try to harmonize.
Okay.
No.
Me. Yeah, because we're going to go on tour and I don't know, we're going to be the LCC.
The LCC, yeah, you know me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a spinoff from TLC.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my laugh.
That is wonderful. And it clearly made all of us laugh. Chelsea, who do you want to go
Chelsea.
next?
Oh my God. I'm just thinking about how I want to restart and just start off this podcast instead of breathing. We should have been using Rebecca's app. I'm just saying.
That would have been.
Next time we show up energetically low or frazzled.
We're just going to be like,
Yeah, we're just gonna and then do the screaming on the boat. I feel like that was really
Yes.
healthy. Okay, so how about I guess I'll nominate myself because I'm actually feeling so much better now
Wonderful.
with Rebecca. So I'm gonna start with I like to end on happy, so I'll start on sad. So my old community that I lived in California, it's called Running Springs. I lived there for 7 years. I worked in the community. I was very involved in the community. They are having a massive fire right now. I think the last I saw it was like 35,000 acres, maybe 3% containment, and it was arson is what I've heard. But my entire old town where I lived, everybody is mandatory evacuations. And I've been following this since Saturday morning and reaching out to people who I know and love and care about. And it just makes me so sad. It's a really tight-knit, special community. In fact, I wouldn't have even been able to stay living in the mountains. I don't like cold and I don't like snow if it wasn't for the incredible humans. And then the other part that made me really sad and made me want to cry with this whole situation is thinking about the animals. And one of my girlfriends she's so tenderhearted and wonderful. And she has a practice up there, but she's been putting out buckets of water. Her area hasn't been evacuated yet. And she said the animals are coming over and like bathing themselves in the water, even the nocturnal animals in the daytime, and drinking the water. And it's so soul crushing to think of beautiful nature being destroyed intentionally and the displacement of families and all of those animals and all of that wildlife. So if you are in Running Springs or anybody in San Bernardino County mountains or down the hill, Highland, that area, I am sending you all love, prayers, and just taking a moment to think about you all and hoping that you can get home soon and start rebuilding the community. So that was that's been sad and ongoing. I'm like following it like first thing in the morning and then right before I go to bed, which probably isn't really a great way to start my day, but I'm just like so concerned about what's going on up there. And then my laugh is this morning, Charlie and her girlfriend get ready on the phone. So Charlie's best friend lives in Tennessee and they FaceTime every morning at like 5:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
It's so cute. And I'll post a video of this on our Instagram this week because it's so cute. So they're totally getting ready. And I come in to say good morning to Charlie and her friend Ollie. And I'm like, good morning. And Charlie looks at me and she's like, did you take my primer pad? And I'm like, or primer, I think it's some beauty brush thing, whatever.
Like a beauty blender.
Thank you, Joy. I'm like, no, I don't use a beauty blender. And she's like, yes, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. And I'm like, well, let me help you look. So I'm looking on the floor. We're like looking and she picks up something and she starts like dabbing her face. And she's like, this works great. And her friend Ollie looks up and is like, what is that? And Charlie holds it up and she goes, it's a bra pad.
Oh. It kind of looks like a beauty blender too.
So she was using her bra pad, which was very innovative and just like she just was so resourceful. And I was like, it just was very funny.
Charlie is a hoot. I'm still laughing at her alarm last week where she's
she also told me she has lots of messages to herself, by the way, that I'm like, will you send me a screenshot so I can see those messages? But she has not. Okay, Joy, I'm nominating you for your laugh, cry. And I know I feel heavy hearted as I nominate you, but we're here and we love you. I don't know because you've had a hard day and I don't want you to feel sad.
Thank you. I'm not. Yes. I mean, it's
being empathetic.
Thank you. I was like, what happened? Did I say something and forgot about it? No, I'm fine. You just know those days where you're like, it's just one of those days. So I sent Rebecca the video of Monica singing that song. So I was like, that's the song I tried to sing a few weeks ago. You didn't know what it was. And then you said, I'm not a Monica fan. I'm a Brandy fan. And then I sent her the Boy Is Mine video, the Brandy versus Monica duo. So if you don't know that reference, then you're missing out because that was the most amazing 90s duo.
It also dates us.
It's a Gen Z thing. Anyway, okay. So just one of those days where you're just kind of like, whatever. You just kind of have a fog. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I went to the chiropractor this past week and I was telling my chiropractor that I was moving. I was just like on her table. She's doing some adjustments. And I found myself getting really emotional about leaving. Because like, I mean, I can go see her anytime. It's not like we're moving to a different state or like an hour away. But it just hit me that we're leaving this neighborhood. And I think because we've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to really think about it. And I've been so focused and distracted on when the house is going to get done and making sure it's done on time. I mean, I've been boxing up this house for the past month, just like doing a box here and there. And then nothing has really, I keep getting scared because I'm like I can be pretty emotional, but when I don't cry, I'm like, when's it going to happen? I'm a little nervous about when I'm going to like lose it. So I didn't like full on bawl, but I was just getting really teary when I was telling her that I was moving. And then when I like got in my car, I was like, oh man, I'm really going to miss this neighborhood. And so that was kind of my cry of just like like almost like when grief kind of strikes you at weird moments. It was one of those moments. And then my laugh was seeing Beetlejuice last night on my birthday. We had so much fun. I am such a fan of Beetlejuice, one of my favorite movies growing up. And so the sequel was just pure bliss, like everything my little 90s child heart needed. And we had a really good time. So that was my wonderful birthday present, was going to see Beetlejuice with my husband.
I can't wait to see it, actually.
It's really entertaining. Like it's exactly kind of what you would want. Mm-hmm. There are moments where I'm like, wow, the 90s version of like the original, the effects aren't as good. So you kind of are trying to like bring your mind to compare it because you're like, everything looks so vivid and advanced in the new one. But
technology
I mean, the characters are okay. William Dafoe is in this. His character is so freaking funny. I laughed so much at his character. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it is probably one of the best. It's just so creative. Like Tim Burton is so creative. So there's moments where you're like, wow, this came out of your brain. This is so great. So you're going to love it. Highly recommend. Okay, let's move on to our questions of the week. We have 2 questions we're going to address. One is an email, which you can reach us at laughcryclub@gmail.com to send in your question that we will answer on the podcast. Fun fact, 2 little previews. We are working on putting together some Patreon content. So if you would like to support our podcast, accessing extra content behind a paywall, we're going to come up with some details probably in the next couple months around how you can do that. So look out for that on our social media or on our future episodes. Okay, Chelsea, take it away.
Okay, so this questioner came from a listener and it says, I think Chelsea was talking about when tragedy strikes friends and family and how you can't really help or do anything, that you just need to hold space. Can you expand on what that means and how you go about doing that? Thank you. I love listening to the podcast at home while I work. Thank you, listener, for this question. So when I talk about holding space, what I mean is the individuals who you can show up. You can show somebody shows up. They aren't one-upping you. They aren't going into toxic positivity. They are sitting there in the shit with you. So when I talk about holding space, no defenses are there. So it's not like, oh, you're too much. What you're saying is making me feel uncomfortable. So now I'm going to shut it down. I think it takes high emotional intelligence in order to hold space. And it takes being comfortable with your own vulnerability, knowing that there is nothing that you are going to say or do that's going to take away what this person is experiencing. And so really it's the showing up. It's knowing that you have people on the sidelines who might be praying for you or meditating and lighting a candle for your family or just sending good thoughts your way. It doesn't have to be really active, but it is holding space for those people internally. That's how I describe it.
And acknowledging and kind of reaching out. Yeah. I wanted to add to that. I'm thinking how uncomfortable it can feel. We're therapists. We're used to emotions. I forget that sometimes when I'm around different people in my life. If I cry or if I like have an emotion, how uncomfortable other people can be. I'm not saying I'm like crying all the time, but you know what I'm saying? Like when you're around certain people and you maybe have a big emotion or certain friends are not as comfortable like with quote unquote dealing with that, it's really important to kind of think about, all right, well, this person's having a hard time. It may feel uncomfortable, but showing up for them and quote unquote holding space just means sitting with your own discomfort, but really just shining the light back on them. I'm just going to be here and I don't need to fix it, because that's kind of the default. Is if someone's having a hard time, you want to immediately find a way to soothe that pain. We'll often see this on social media where people are like, if someone makes, I'm using social media just because that's something that I feel like I see a lot of, is people make a post about having a hard time and people in the comments or even just in life will be like, but you have fill in the blank, but at least you have this. And sometimes you just have to be like, this is really crappy what you're going through. I often say, like, I find myself saying, like, I really hate that you're going through this and I'm here for you and I'm thinking of you. It's showing up and letting the person know you're there without any other agenda.
It reminds me a lot of like what you're really talking about is the difference between empathy and sympathy. Because like Brene Brown says that empathy drives connection and sympathy drives disconnection. Because the sympathy part is, and I think this gets confusing for people too, the sympathy part is saying, oftentimes leads to problem solving. Like, I need to fix this for someone because I am feeling sympathy. But empathy is exactly what you all are saying about being courageously curious. I'm going to show up. This is not about me. I'm actually nowhere in this. And I think of holding space as like thinking about a bucket. You are the bucket. That person is the water that's going in the bucket. All the bucket does is hold it. It doesn't manipulate that water in any way. It doesn't try to transform it or problem solve it or change it in any way. It's just a vessel that holds it. And that's all you're doing.
Oh,
that's
Rebecca.
An amazing way to describe it.
It's such an amazing way to describe it. And I want to elaborate to just on the opposite, because sometimes people want to fix it. And then you get other people who have no capacity for feeling uncomfortable themselves. And when you are doing the opposite of holding space, which is protecting your own comfortability, that is one of the most invalidating things you can do to another human being. And it actually can feel quite cruel. So a little tip or trick, something that could be helpful, is just to say, I don't know what I can say or do right now, but I'm here. You don't have to do anything. Just acknowledging or like, ouch, this is so hard to see you upset. But we get people who completely shut down, or we get people who join in that empathy and say, like, you're feeling anxious about, I don't know, you lost your job. And then the person's like, well, what happened? What happened? And your friend who's being compassionate, their anxiety is now hijacking your experience. That would be my warning too. So we don't want to hijack the experience. It's like when somebody has something horrible happen to them. And I see this with kids. The kid comes home and they're like, so-and-so bullied me. And the parents are like, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get that kid and blah, blah, blah. And the kid now is like, I can't tell my parent anything. I'm not safe to have feelings because now my parent is having such big feelings that I have to shut it down. So we're giving room to not have to shut it down. That container, Rebecca, oh my gosh. Thank you for that visual.
I appreciate, like you said, hijack the situation, or like, we're not there to hijack the space. And I like the numerous things we've all talked about like, what are the things to not do? Like, what is it, when you think of holding space, what is it not? And I think, we've said that. I feel like it's pretty clear. Like, don't hijack the conversation. What else would you all say?
Don't make it about you.
Don't make it about you.
No advice, no positive.
No advice.
Yeah, no toxic positivity. Yep. Don't share then take it away and go into your own story.
Right, like don't compare and be like, well, one time I blah, blah, blah. Like,
and at least. No, well, at least this or at least that. Yeah. Now, if the person who's sharing was like, well, at least this, then the holding space, you can join. You can say, oh, you're right. Like there's a way you're following the lead of the person who's sitting in it. That would be the other thing. So the person who's sitting in it, they're going to show you. If they're feeling really positive, that's great. You can kind of join with that. If they're in it, then you're just holding space and being the bucket for that. So you can kind of match. Again, that's why I say it takes high emotional intelligence. And holding space is sometimes something you're doing by yourself. You're lighting. I can't tell you how many people I light a candle for and put their name in my prayer box. I can't tell you when my friend's husband had a heart attack, my other girlfriend was like, we need to meditate together right now. like we both just were on the phone meditating together. So again, there's so many ways you can be holding space energetically, and energy is contagious. And that is really beautiful. That's really beautiful too. Just knowing somebody's thinking about you, knowing somebody's there. They're your humans in the sidelines.
Something that's become a little, I guess, I think it always depends. I don't like to think in black and white this way, but some people don't really love the let me know what you need, because then it kind of puts, it's almost like I think the intention is good. Like we're letting the person know I'm here for you, but just say I'm here for you instead of let me know what you need, because it's almost like this just empty sentence of like, let me know what you need. I think it depends on the situation, but in instances where someone is just like going through a really hard time, you just show up. I think some of the best examples of that is just dropping by food without telling them just text and be like, there's food on your doorstep. See you later. Like with no need to exchange energy. Because if people are going through a hard time, I don't know about you, but sometimes I just don't have the energy to talk to anybody. So it's like, I'll appreciate a meal on a doorstep, no strings attached. So things like that, I think, are important to just gauge your friendship of like whether or not that's something that you should do or say.
I'm going to just say the both and with that, because you're going to have some people who are really good at telling you what they need.
Yeah,
like I'm good. Yeah. Like I've had it before where my sisters have been like, do you need me to show up? And I'm like, yes. Or I've been like, no, I don't. Or girlfriends like, do you need me to be there? And I'm able to say like, not right now, but I will. God, one of my girlfriends did something so amazing. When Steve had one of his surgeries, she flew to New York. She had her own place she was staying, and she was just there, just in case I needed her, just there. Thank you, Jen. That's one of my girlfriends. I mean, it makes me tear up. Like no expectation to do anything, knowing I was going to be in the hospital all day, but like she was just there.
Just there.
Yeah.
You remember that. Yeah.
Forever. My sisters will sit, my sisters and my other girl, like they will just sit on the sideline, like when you're ready. And so that's why I say the both and is because you might be somebody who is really good at knowing what you need or knowing when you need it. Like, I just need you to sit here and say nothing. I just need you to hold my hand. I just need to know that you're there. Like for me, knowing that you're there is probably one of the biggest water containers. So I think it can be both. But Joy, I think what you might be referencing is in a crisis, people do not know what they need.
That's true. Yeah.
So that might be what you're talking about is like when people are in a crisis, literally you're just in it. You're just completely in it. Grief can kind of have the ebbs and flows. Crisis is a whole other thing. In fact, crisis training, you're just literally sitting there. Do they have a blanket? Do they have water? Do they have like very simple?
That's a great question. Thank you, listener, for submitting that question. Are we ready to move on to the last question of this episode? This is a voice memo.
I think we are.
I can't wait to hear it.
Hello, Laugh Cry Club. This is your biggest fan. I have been seeing a therapist. I'm 27. I've been seeing her since I was 21 for an eating disorder recovery. It's been 6 years. I don't want to say that I'm recovered, but I'm pretty darn close, which is so awesome. She kind of got me through the thick of it. However, I don't really want to stop seeing her. I definitely, every time I go to see her every other week, I still have things to talk about, but it's nothing dire at this point. What do you guys think about seeing a therapist more for kind of like maintenance and to talk through the daily intricacies of being a human? This actually kind of goes to your topic that you were talking about a little bit on your last episode, termination. I am terrified of termination with my therapist, even though I don't have anything huge that I'm working through right now, but I think I'm also terrified of termination. I feel a lot of shame around it. I feel like I should probably not be seeing a therapist anymore, but it's keeping me in a really good place. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to pick your brains. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for that question. Okay, who wants to start? Who wants to kick us off?
This is really great because there's a lot of different layers here. here, I feel like. We've got termination. There's actually appreciation for this therapist. Gosh, working with them for such a long time. And I mean, this is a relationship that this listener probably feels very close to, right? 6 years. That's longer than some people date each other, right?
Time. Yeah.
So it's a really long relationship, and you've done some really great work together, it sounds like. There's also this shame component too, which I think is really important to talk about. From my perspective, when you are seeing a therapist, it's really between you and the therapist to make that decision. I personally can't recommend a specific time period on what this listener, how long they should work with this therapist. I would really encourage the listener to talk to their therapist about it and have that brave conversation. You all have worked together so long, and just, have a conversation like, hey, I've been thinking, like, should I come in still? And what does that look like? And I still love coming to talk about these things, and maybe have the conversation.
I think that she's made a tremendous amount of progress with this individual. We always have things we can continue working on, but we also have the opportunity then to start working on these in other ways. So I think coaching could be really cool, like, because that's present and future forward. So if you still wanted to help her for that. I think also if you were considering termination, I know something I like to do is just like start to space out sessions. And so I have people who I've just done tune-ups with. I worked with them for a long time consecutively. And then now it's just every once in a while they come in and they need a tune-up. And so that is the great thing about therapy. As long as your therapist is practicing, they're gonna be there. Most therapists have an open door policy. And I do want to normalize that it's really hard to end a consistent relationship with somebody who's helped you, and you want to update that person about your life. Like, I want to send Dr. S, my first therapist, my first great therapist I ever had, like, I want to send him postcards and like Christmas cards and updates about what's gone on in my life. I actually do have people who will send me updates, and it's really amazing.
You play such a huge role in their life, and maybe one of the only really true stable, just like supportive people in their life, where they're just there to help you unconditionally. And not a lot of people have that type of a relationship. And so I think that's really hard for someone to let that go. And I would just encourage this listener too. And again, thank you for your question, your support. That's so kind, to talk to your therapist about, like, you're scared of that, because that's another way to work through something with your therapist, to say, I'm really worried about how this relationship is going to end and what that means. And, myself, I don't like endings. I don't like saying goodbyes. I just don't. How you can work on that as a team with your therapist, of, like Chelsea said, maybe you spread out the sessions a little bit more. Maybe you take a break and say, sometimes I'll tell patients, like, take a 3-month break. You seem to be in a really good spot. Take a 3-month break. Call me if something really difficult comes up that you need to see me before then. I'm always going to be here if you need something. And so that's another way to kind of work with it too. And, don't feel, I'm not going to say don't feel, because that's, you feel what you need to feel, but that is so valid to be like, I just really don't want to leave this relationship. And can I just see this person for maintenance? Now, to me, I have a little bit of a different perspective. I like therapy to be really goal driven. That's just me personally as a therapist. So I would talk to your therapist about what they feel is best for your treatment plan, of what's going to help you. If it's going to help you to do quote unquote maintenance sessions, sometimes I feel that can be a cover up for like a crutch of, I just don't want this to end. And so if that's more of the issue, then I think the therapist needs to talk that through with you. So be honest with yourself. Is it really for maintenance, or is it really because you don't want to end the relationship? And it could be a little bit of both, but I would then say, have the confidence that you can do life without a therapist. Therapists are great, but you can also do life without a therapist. And I think that's something to weigh as you're moving through and making that decision.
That is a great point, Joy, because I do feel like sometimes people think they can't, but they can. And the therapist knows you can too. So this is such an opportunity. I think this kind of goes back to the other listener question a few episodes back, where this is actually bringing up another opportunity to have a conversation with your therapist on maybe improving an area of your life that you didn't even recognize, that this therapist is providing you something. And, even maybe looking internally, like doing some work, internal work, journaling, or if you're opposed to journaling, because I know some people are, like Joy, don't do that. Do what works for you. But think about, what am I getting out of this from this relationship at this point in life? Because that relationship has morphed over these years. And it may be that you don't need the crutch any longer, but you have the conversation, and then you can say, hey, how about I try not coming in for a month? How about I see you next month instead of 2 weeks? And I just test and see how that feels. So I really like what you both said. But termination is really hard. It's ending a relationship.
Well, I was just going to say that, like, the ending is what triggers people. It's like,
Yes.
like, what does ending
Yes.
mean to you? And like, what have endings done in our life? Like, it's a pattern. What have endings, how have they
Right.
showed up for you in your life to where that's been traumatic? So it's a lot.
It's like, yeah, what does ending a relationship mean? Is it finalized? Does that mean it's it forever? It's gone? Or does it look different?
And I want to change it from termination to graduation. That was what was in my informed consent.
That's right.
And yeah, I would say you're going to graduate and it's going to be bittersweet. Like, we want our children to graduate high school and launch, right? We know this is healthy as a parent. And I want my kids to live with me forever. I want that. I want both of those things. But I know that the healthy thing is for them to graduate high school and have travel, go to college, do whatever it is that their little hearts want to do. And so the clinician feels the same way. We want you to graduate. We want you to get better. We know you can get better because you're already wonderful and whole. We just need to help you get those pieces together. So your therapist is going to be feeling bittersweet too, because we're going to be so happy that you're graduating, and we're going to be so sad to not see you. Like a good parent, the door will probably always be open. So if and when you need to tune up or something happens, your therapist will probably be there. Or if not, there's lots of really other amazing people, but you never lose the specialness of the work that you've done. That never goes away.
I don't think there's really anything like it. As you were talking about it even more, if I really sit and think about it, this is a really interesting, weird, however you want to describe it, situation where you have this very intimate, close relationship with someone where you're telling them all of your deepest, darkest fears and emotions. And then you're like, okay, we're done. That's hard. Yeah. So recognizing and just acknowledging to this listener too of what you described of the things that you've struggled with over your life, that is just a lot of deep work that I'm sure has been really, like, you're bonded so much to this person. We attach that to these people that mean so much to us. So saying goodbye can just feel like, I feel so disoriented. Something that helped me when I was in grad school, because I always had a hard time, like, kind of marrying this idea of like, we're getting so close to these patients and then we have to, was Reason, Season, Lifetime. Now I know that poem is more about like kind of friendships, but it really helped me just kind of think of categories of, you guys know what that is, that poem where people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It's like a whole poem. That really helped me because in my brain, I was like, man, when you're with someone like that, it just feels like a lifetime type of, it just feels really disjointed to all of a sudden just cut that relationship off like that. So it's just more of kind of reframing, I guess, of, wow, this person was really in my life for a really big reason. And therapists are typically that person. They're just there for a reason, or maybe it is reason season, because depending on how long you see them, but that's just a really good way too of honoring that, like, what a beautiful thing that you get to experience with that person. And you get to always think about the things that you've learned.
Can we just say congratulations to this listener who...
Yes, congratulations.
Yes,
Congratulations.
You self-disclosed so many massive obstacles, and you are still at a young age, and you get to have so much more life or quality of life because you did that really amazing work. So I hope you're really proud of yourself. And I want to say congratulations, whether you decide it's time to graduate or not, you've done amazing work.
Yeah.
And that is to be celebrated.
Absolutely.
Oh, did she say she was our number one?
She's our number one fan.
Oh.
Yes. I think
That's
this
so
fan,
nice.
Yeah, might be doing like a, what is that? A fan club.
Oh,
What?
fan club. Oh my gosh, we're
Yeah.
going to have a fan club. I'm so excited. We're going to have a
Really?
fan club.
Maybe, I don't
We're gonna
know,
do
but
some
number
live
one fan, right?
shows, live shows at some point. We're going to start a Patreon. So we're wrapping up for this week, and we're just so grateful to hold the space for everybody, and that you're listening to this podcast and sharing. Reminder that you can rate and review on any podcast app that you're listening on. And please send us your messages to laughcryclub@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Laugh Cry Club. We're on Facebook. We're sometimes on TikTok. We'll get there. We're Gen X. We're just trying to figure out social media still. No, actually, we're doing pretty good. I was very proud of the birthday messages were great, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Completely
happy
love
I would
that
say
so
we're
much.
stepping our game up on Instagram
Yeah,
currently.
I think so.
Check out
so you
Instagram
really need
if you haven't.
to follow us there. But yeah, we're just having a ball. So thank you everyone for listening and just joining us on this Laugh Cry journey. Reminder, everyone is in this club. Being a human is hard. And we're just grateful that we're not alone. At least my mood is better now because of it. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. See you
Have a
next
great
week.
week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
That's life, baby.